Flo, what's going on?
Hey, how are you, JK?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about the Breeders' Cup. Probably not as excited as you are to get another run at it with your champion mare, Idiomatic. Flo, I wanted to talk a little bit about her year this year because she's, to her standard, been a little bit inconsistent in terms of winning to her standard. I want to start with the La Troyer comeback race on Derby Oaks weekend. It wasn't as impressive as I think some people thought. She still got the job done. But tell me what you remember about that day, that trip, and that Idiomatic.
Well, first of all, there was a comeback race, like you said, and second, it was on the off track. So she ran before, but sometimes it's not ideal, to come back, over a long layoff on a not so great, racetrack off track. She broke from inside. I remember she kind of like broke a tad slow or stumbled a little bit, and from there, I just kept it simple, I just let her run, pushed her a little bit in the first turn. Uh, Johnny, I remember, was on my outside, put a little bit of pressure on me, which is normal because he broke faster than me. And from there, she took command, the quarter pole and keep drawing off at the end. I had to remind her, once or twice, down the lane to keep going to the wire. But overall, I mean, like you said, nothing fancy, but she got the job done pretty easily at the end.
How about the Ogden Phipps, where she was beat that day, and it felt like randomized kind of got away from you a little bit, and the pace wasn't particularly quick, and it's kind of an understandably confident ride on the champion where she just never really got to randomize. What do you feel about that performance in the Ogden Phipps?
Yeah, Ogden Phipps too. I think both of them, like you said, very extremely unlucky. Just in the fact of like randomized, breaking from the rail and breaking extremely fast, and my filly who stumbled pretty badly and lost, boy, I would say, probably a length or two, right off the bat. Plus, I start hustling her, and when I'm making my move into the first turn, the horse who was in the middle pushed me out. So from here, I probably lost another few lengths, and after that, I'm like, you know what, not let's not fight, with that guy in the middle and just try to like keep my feet in a nice rhythm. And like I said, after that, seems like randomized, get away from me. And when I put pressure on her, he had a nice breather, from the first turn all the way until the 5-8 pole. And I mean, from there, it's very hard to run a filly this caliber, in those type of races.
And then on to the Molly Pitcher, which I think was probably the detractors, who not me. I think Idiomatic's a very likely winner, but I think the detractors is that it wasn't all that impressive. But I mean, I thought that was a really tough trip. Irad kind of moved at you aggressively, tightened you up on the rail. Tell me a little bit about what happened down at Monmouth.
Yeah, I think that was only the only time where I felt like uh, all the other races, this year she's been, kind of like on it and, feel like, okay, I feel like I have a lot of horsepower. The race, she broke, she went to the lead, and it was too easy for her. And I felt like I was right up pretty much the same. I think that I tried to slow it down. I didn't really slow it down. That was just not her, like not really into it. And like I said, when I felt those horses coming up on my outside right before the Alpha Mile, I tried to get away from them, and I just could not. She was not taking me anywhere. And from that point, I saw my filly, and I mean, he did what he have to do. He saw my filly is not engaging, so he jumped right on top of me, and he tried to try to put me tight and put a real race. And I probably would have done the same thing if I was on his filly too, But I think that was the only time where I felt like, oh, what's happening here? Why she's not going, faster, and why she's more into it. But sometimes different track, it's a very sandy base. I don't know. I feel like sometimes at Monmouth, some horses doesn't necessarily show uh, their true speed for some reason. Not sure why it is, but I feel like it happened to me a few times already there.
And then, what I thought was her best performance of the entire year was her personal ensign, where she was defeated by Raging Sea, but she won the battle with randomized. I mean, talk a little bit. Was the plan to go to the front? I would imagine that at a certain point when Joelle wasn't really retreating at all, you probably were hoping that you could do something different. Talk a little bit about that trip.
Yeah, I think the plan was definitely put some more pressure on randomize, make sure she didn't get away, like she did in the Ogden Phipps. But I think like when we create, that much of a separation, I probably should have like, take her back, or maybe Joel take his filly back. There was a little bit of a heated battle, between me and Joel. I just felt like I had the inside, and pretty much he let me dictate the race. So from that point, I just went on with it. If he really wanted the lead from the first turn, he would have pushed his filly a little more, and I would have taken back. But he just didn't do that. He was just in the middle of the racetrack, just staying there. So I'm like, you know what, let's go for it. And unfortunately, she idled a lot, at the 8 pole, and just got caught late by a raging sea.
So while she was defeated twice this year, which is something that you didn't necessarily experience a ton last year, I mean, what do you feel like you're going to get the best? Do you feel like she's back now based on the race she had in the Spinster? Do you feel like you can take a deep breath now? You've got the real Idiomatic. She's got to show up on the day and do her thing.
Well, I'm hoping so. And honestly, I didn't need the race in the Spinster to feel like, okay, I have the same Idiomatic as last year. We all knew it, all along. We didn't need the Spinster to be a clarification or a verification of like, okay, we have. She's training extremely well in the morning. She has way more or less races than she had last year. She had a very extremely tough campaign last year. She started back in December and didn't have a break all the way until Breeders Cup. Her race has been very well spaced this year and only targeting, some of the major targets. And no, I think so far we're on course, and I'm hoping she can put on a show on next weekend.
Flo, have a safe flight out there. We'll see you out there, buddy.
Thank you. See you in San Diego.
Kenny, have you got any new tattoos lately?
I'm going to get a Derby Oaks tattoo.
There you go.
Yeah, they call me some of my friends call me McDouble now. Thad Ackle calls me McDouble. Mac Double.
Well, I tell you what, when we get off, you need to get on the Jockey Club website and reserve that name immediately.
Okay. Probably needs to be a Mackenzie colt.
Yeah, well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, apparently.
Yeah.
Kenny, wanted to talk a little bit about the big horse. And you and I have talked about it, and I know we've joked about it, where I was overly impressed with who she was as an athlete, the races she won, how she won them, how impressive she won them. But the one thing was her figures prior to the Preakness. I'm sorry, not the Preakness. The Travers were just a little bit light, but she wasn't really being pushed. She was finally pushed, and she ran a huge number. Then she came back and with some trouble in the Delaware Oaks and kind of regressed a little bit from a number standpoint. Why is everything I said just now nonsense?
You're talking about the cotillion, not the Delaware.
Yeah, the cotillion. Excuse me, the Delaware Oaks, the cotillion.
Yeah, that's a grade 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
The cotillion's a race that we didn't do much with her in between. We gave her a couple easy half miles, and actually that racetrack over there is a bit of a trap. You can bring a really good horse over there and get beaten. And I told Brian before the race, I said, there's 2 ways you get beat here. One, you let a horse get an easy lead and you can't run them down. And I thought that Mark Hennick's filly, I believe it's Gunsong, was a filly that could do that because she had a race over the track. And I do think it's an advantage having a race over that track. And I said, the only other way you're going to get beat is if they box you in, slow it down, not let you out, and you can't get there. And of course, that almost happened. And he came back and he says, wow, every move I made was the wrong one. But she got it done. And I just think that's a testament to her courage and talent that she was able to get there irregardless. But, this distaff's a whole nother deal. And I've always likened young horses to, when they're 2-year-olds, they might be all state. And when they're 3-year-olds, they might be, top college. But when you go older horses, you're going pro. I mean, these horses are so experienced and so proven talented but it's a different level. And she's going to have to step up and run a big one. And I think she's perfectly capable, but there are no givens. And it looks like it's going to be a big field too. So we got our work cut out for us.
In terms of, one of the things that I've thought about with her is that, in comparing her to Idiomatic, who those two will be at the top of the market, is that we kind of know who Idiomatic is because she's a mature, she's been in the pros for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But Thorpedo Anna is growing up. How much has she grown up since the Travers, since the Kentucky Oaks?
Well, we watched her blossom this summer. I mean, she's just a big, strong filly. I mean, that's certainly to be expected with all she's accomplished. But, I've actually been away from her quite a bit lately because I had the Keeneland September sale. And then I flew up for the Cotillion, spent some time up there for that. And then I had to work the Tattersall sale in England, and then I worked the Phasig sale. I'm actually flying to New York tonight. And so I'm excited to see her the next few days, and certainly I'm going to oversee the workout up there. Although the team could probably do it without me, it's still fun to go to Saratoga. It's going to be, I'm sure, a little cooler than I'm used to. But everything they're telling me is that she's doing better than ever. Of course, Danny's the ultimate optimist who gets on her. That's typical Danny. Danny's one of the most positive people ever. But I'm excited to see her and see what her coat looks like and see what her weight looks like, because like I said, I've been kind of busy with these yearling auctions and have stepped back. And she's already shows to be a big, strong filly anyway. But I think you'll see that she'll even mature more next year with a little bit of a window of a break on the other side of the Breeders' Cup. And when there is every intention to race her next year.
Well, Kenny, that's exciting. I'm excited to see her next year. I'm excited to see her in a couple of weeks. I feel like we're in store, and you probably don't want it this way, but I feel like we're in store for a little Beholder, Songbird, young, old stretch duel. But maybe the 3-year-old will win this time.
Well, fingers crossed on that. But there's a Japanese horse in the race that's never lost.
Yep.
7 for 7, but none of those were graded. I'm not sure what their grading system is over there. And some of the other ones, it looks like on paper, but these things, they're just, you don't know how she'll handle the track. Although she's handled everyone we've ever put her on. And I think Brad's filly is ultra consistent, but you can't give her an easy lead because she'll take advantage of it. And I think we're probably going to need to some extent stalk or even go with her, because I think we're perfectly capable of going with her.
It's exciting. Kenny, I appreciate you taking the time, and good luck. And let me know when you get that tattoo.
It sounds good. I haven't been brave enough yet, but I might get it done. My daughter got one, and she said, "Dad, when are you going to do that?" I said, "When I get time."
Thanks, Kenny.
All right. Take care, Jonathan.
TwinSpires.com are back in the tournament game. You can play the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge through TwinSpires.com, and you can also start trying to qualify for horse racing's latest major tournament, the 2025 Kentucky Derby Betting Challenge. Go to TwinSpires.com and click the Tournaments tab.